Hello, welcome to this your channel of the better Eurofan, that's me. After the intimate and intense performance of Steen in last year's contest, having finished in the 11th position in the final ranking, Netherlands still goes on with its participation, hoping to keep achieving good results in the competition, or even a possible sixth victory. For now, let's take a look at the duo chosen this time to represent the Dutch nation on the main stage of Liverpool. Here we go. For today's episode, I'm going to review the Dutch entry for Eurovision 2023, which will be represented by singers Mia Nicolai and Dion Cooper with the song Burning Daylight. We start by giving a review to the biographies and careers of both her and him, and how they joined forces to make a joint participation at the contest. First is Mia Nicolai, mostly well known as Mia Nicolai, which is a Dutch singer, songwriter and actress, born of a Dutch father and a Russian mother, coming from the country's capital Amsterdam. At the age of 3, she starts taking acting and ballet classes, which lead to her interest into music, taking later piano and violin classes. She will continue her musical lineage traveling around many cities worldwide, including the cities of Melbourne, London, Mexico City, New York and Los Angeles, with the latter one the city where she is actually living in. She starts her musical career in 2018, releasing singles in English with American independent record labels, still having pending the release of her debut studio album. Having lived in many cities around the world have influence in her musical culture. She also cites David Bowie as one of her main artistic influences, and she defines her music as creativity in free expression. In the other hand, Dion Cooper, mostly well known as Dion Cooper, is a Dutch singer and songwriter, coming from the city of Wassenaar, located in the west coast of the country. Music has been present in his life since a very early age, as his father was a drummer in a funk band, and he grew up listening to artists like the Beatles or Jimi Hendrix, which will influence in his musical style. He himself cites Shawn Mendes, John Mayer and Harry Styles as part of his musical influences. After finishing secondary school, Dion will begin studies in business management, but drop out at the age of 31 to focus on his musical career. In 2015, he will participate in the 6th season of The Voice, having passed from the blind auditions round, but he will be ultimately being eliminated in the battles round. Far from feeling down, he will work in the following years in his skills as a songwriter, starting to write his own songs, then later releasing several singles in English during 2020, and he will release his first EP in 2021. A remarkable fact is that his latest single released in last September has been co-wrote with Duncan Lawrence, the well-known Eurovision winner in 2019. Having talked about both of them, it's time to discover how they start working together in the entry they will defend at the contest. Following the habit of these recent years, the Dutch public broadcaster will still be opting for an internal selection for both the artist and the song that will represent the country on the United Kingdom. For this, a submission period was open for Dutch artists and songwriters to send proposals between mid-May and late August of last year. Each artist or songwriter could send up to 3 songs, which will later be reviewed by an expert panel with members from the world of Dutch radio and television. After receiving nearly 400 proposals, that expert panel would shortlist them to 4, being one of them the entry sent by Duncan Lawrence together with his boyfriend Jordan Garfield. They were responsible of getting together Mia and Dion to make the artistic collaboration, sending the joint proposal to 4 of them. Finally, after reviewing each proposal, the broadcaster decided unanimously for Mia and Dion as the Dutch representatives, after having caused a huge impact among the members of the expert panel, making the official announcement in early November of last year. The mystery about the song they will perform was in the air for a long time after the announcement, until the broadcaster finally made in early March the official release of the song with its accompanying official music video. leaving the old life behind to start a new one. Now here comes the analysis according to what they have presented in their proposal. The melody is a pop rock ballad, which is gone during the most part of the song and being more intense in the final part. Dion performs the first verse and the first chorus, then Mia performs the second verse, and finally they sing together from the second chorus until the end of the song. Talking about the voices, both Mia and Dion's voices are melodic during the verses and very powerful in the chorus, giving a quite emotional character into the song. The lyrics are co-written by Mia, Dion, Duncan and his partner Jordan, as mentioned before, together with the Dutch songwriter and producer Loke van der Grinten. They had commented the background of the song during the songwriting process. We all experience unique problems and challenges that are universal. Sometimes it can feel like we are stuck and days pass us by without meaning. But exactly when the old no longer works out and you're with your back against the wall, it's a chance for growth, for something new, saying goodbye to the old life where you didn't feel so free. Reading the lyrics in detail, it is expressed as a nod to falling and getting up. The verses portray that discomfort and reluctance we feel when our current life is not going as we would like to be. Then the chorus reflects that melancholy state we go through. In the end, we are humans and there are few times that we cannot avoid feeling lost. And finally, by the outro happens the turning point, when we say goodbye to our old life to start a brand new one. The song transmits a personal self-improvement message, which becomes quite important in these difficult times we are living, with different shades according to the personal experiences of each one. That is, as long as we are alive and breathing, we can always reinvent ourselves to improve our quality of life according to our possibilities. Having reviewed the song, now I'm going to analyze the official music video released for this proposal. First, Dion is seen performing the first verse, while he's going to meet a girl at the restaurant, which seems to be his girlfriend or partner in the music video. According to the scene, it seems she's breaking up with him, looking sad and embarrassed. And then he leaves the table without saying a word, as he does not feel he has to be there. He then opens a door which leads to the halfway room, starting to perform the chorus quite passionate and intense, reflecting his disappointment and sadness by the event, opening another door in his way out which leads to his house, while he keeps externalizing his frustration walking around the house. When the chorus finishes, the scene changes, and then Mia is seen at the halfway room going to one of the doors, which lead to her family house. She approaches to the dining room, in which there's a family argument from her parents, from which it seems to be her sister. You can notice that the father is trying to be a mediator, while the mother looks upset and outraged by a serious event that had been happened, turning in a very serious conflict. Mia sits on the dining table taking part in the argument, with herself and her mother exchanging harsh words to each other as it can be witnessed on the scene, even without knowing what are they saying. Then later she bursts out from the dining table, probably by noticing that the argument is going nowhere. But her mother goes after her, which is still telling and rebuking things at her, as you can notice in the gestures and the body language of the woman. Then after, Mia turns out at her to say really harsh words to her, giving the impression that she's telling a very awful truth, as the mother looks astonished without saying a word. And then next she goes to her room, bursting out of rage and frustration while she performs the chorus. She lays down on the bed trying to relax herself. Then suddenly she receives an instant message on her smartphone, which makes her get up from the bed, to get out of the bedroom by the window, coming back to the halfway room. After witnessing the different scenes with Dion and Mia, you can understand that the halfway room represents that escape zone, in which we could feel reflected on those life situations that make us feel stuck. The two of them meet at the halfway room, and after looking at each other for a few seconds, they decide to open different doors which lead to a club with an audience. running quickly to the stage. This symbolizes that turning point previously commented, in which we look for that change to feel better with ourselves again. At first they are in opposite sides of the stage, with alternate shots of each one of them while they perform the song's outro. Then towards the end of the music video, they come together to sing a face to face, finishing that performance. Making a summary of all the comments, the Dutch entry for this year is very emotional and enlightening. It is a proposal that will obviously thrill a lot. Also, by knowing that Duncan is participating as a songwriter for the entry, could Duncan be the lucky charm for Mia and Dion for getting the 6th victory for the country? There are possibilities, but everything will depend on their capabilities to conquer the audience. For the staging in Liverpool, it is pretty sure that it will be just the two of them, with Dion playing his guitar, but beyond that there are not too much details for now. There is expectation in this case on how they will translate the meaning of the song during the performance, that we will be able to see when they get on the main stage on next May. And you? What do you think about the Dutch entry for this year? Let me know your comments down below so we can keep the discussion. And this is it for today's episode. Don't forget as usual to like this video, subscribe to my channel, enable notifications to be aware of the next reviews, and follow me through my social media if you have not done it yet. Take care and see you in the next episode. Bye bye.